Okay, we are live, sir.
We are live.
So welcome to Bulls, Bears and Banter. And today,
Mahima is sitting
yes,
in
I've graced
hot seat.
Yeah.
the live with my
Mahima is sitting in the hot
presence.
seat.
Yes. and because Yash is too tired.
Hersh is too tired, and
Yeah.
Hersh has been yawning in the lives, is what I've heard
Heard.
and seen in the comments as well.
बेचारा बेबी संभालता है
Baby
रात को, या तो
संभाल रहा
नींद तो आएगी सुबह
ठीक
सुबह.
है, कोई बात नहीं,
अरे
थोड़ा
ठीक है.
थोड़ा तो मेहनत करना
Substance
पड़ेगा.
over form, I believe, in social media. I would be disappointed if I was saying something which didn't make sense. Let me put
As
it
long
that
as
way.
you are in your senses, we are fine.
Correct,
Yes,
absolutely.
are you?
I think so.
Okay. All right.
But and exchanges, Nifty is down quarter percentage.
From the highs, we've fallen.
Yeah, means we have fallen 127 points from the high Nifty 50, and Sensex Nifty Bank is fallen 400 points from the top. So it's some correction which is happening. Last
Yeah.
3-4 days we've been seeing some buying in financials, buying in IT. IT was yesterday some short covering which also happened. Good delivery also which happened there. So वो चल रहा है.
But I wouldn't complain, right? I
No.
was speaking to an analyst yesterday, and on closing, we were
Closing,
speaking to an
yes.
analyst, and someone said, ki, why are we complaining? We would have had a phenomenal month.
Yes, 7%.
What's there to complain? It's just a flatline kind of move.
2 दिन और बचा है.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. So,
Anything above 6% is a good one, right? Means
Yeah.
for this month, in
Yeah.
that sense. But tomorrow is going to be a very volatile day. You have the expiry which is coming in,
Yes.
and then you have the Nifty reject which will take into account.
That's
Not
a
just
big
Nifty reject, but all indices reject which will be there.
Watch the flows on Zomato on that, guys. There's large flows on Zomato expected.
Yes.
With regard to that reject.
जोमेटो से याद आया, महिमा है हमारे साथ, और बोफा का रिपोर्ट आया है जिसने फाइनली डाउनग्रेड कर दिया जोमेटो को, कि उनको अभी
कोई
लगा
तो
कि क्विक कॉमर्स में लॉसेस हैं.
हो रहा है.
अभी पता चला उनको.
लॉसेस वाइडन हो रहे हैं, बट सर लॉसेस वाइडन इसलिए भी तो हो रहे हैं
एक महीने के अंदर पता चल गया?
डार्क स्टोर एडिशन ज़्यादा हो रहा है. सो या एज यू राइटली मेंशन, बैंक ऑफ अमेरिका ने बोला, मतलब फाइनली जाके डाउनग्रेड किया है, टारगेट प्राइस भी कट किया है, बोथ फॉर जोमेटो एंड स्विगी, but they are preferring Zomato over Swiggy is what they've said. A couple of reasons as to why they've downgraded it. They're saying, as you rightly mentioned, कि quick commerce में losses बहुत ज़्यादा widen होने वाले हैं going forward. Food delivery का growth pace has slowed down overall. Competition in terms of discount is quite significant.
In fact,
That
I
is-
want you to tell us about how the landscape is changing now, right? Means in the last 10 days we have seen at least 4 big reports coming on quick commerce and the surveys which have been undertaken in various cities. क्या बोल रहे हैं ये सर्वेस, कौन कहाँ पर जीत रहा है?
So very interesting. Discount wise अगर देखने जाए तो highest discount is being given by Flipkart Minutes, but I'm sure not a lot of people use Flipkart Minutes. But lowest is given by Zomato, Blinkit, 5.7% if I remember correctly. But that is as high as over 17% in Flipkart Minutes, followed by DMart, which is around 16%.
This is DMart Direct or DMart?
No, overall
ready,
DMart.
right?
हाँ, और DMart ready.
Ready.
And followed by Zepto Saver. Zepto Saver is the third in the list. तो quite 12% का कुछ discount दे रहा है. तो
So actually I was reading in one of the reports and it was saying that Zepto Saver is now replacing this monthly bills.
correct. And that will have an impact on DMart. जो
Yes.
कल heard on the street पे भी आया था कि
हाँ.
Q4 we'll have to wait and watch out for कि performance कैसा है. I mean, if it is able to match the discount to some extent also, which it is, if DMart is giving ready,
मेरे को
DMart
जाना नहीं है
discount
वो-
ready at 16%,
16%
और Zepto Saver 12% पे दे रहा है, और तुम्हारा अगर जाने आने का वो चूज करने का भी अगर वो एफर्ट चला जा रहा है, तो people might shift towards Zepto Saver. And with its IP also coming in, $250.
I think उसका मिनिमम क्या 1000 है ना मुंबई में Zepto Saver के लिए?
Depends on different areas.
Area.
West में 1500 है कहीं कहीं पे. That is something that I checked.
मुंबई West में.
East में हाँ, अंधेरी West में मैंने देखा था. अंधेरी East I saw it's 1000. So it depends. It
Okay.
depends on which area you're in. So I think South Bombay में थोड़ा और ज़्यादा होगा. Considering the income group that is staying in that particular
I think the
area as well.
algos are going to decide कि भाई आपका monthly आप क्या क्या खरीद रहे हो या
correct.
top ups कर रहे हो, and उसके basis पे they are trying to say कि okay what is it. I don't
Plus
think
dark
it's a
store location भी
dark store
कैसे है
location.
उस हिसाब से discounts मतलब minimum order value
Yeah,
पे
means it's
determine
not a
होगा.
quick commerce but it is quick.
Quick, yeah. But also, I mean, it's playing with your psychology, right? कि 1,000 rupees, अरे we'll see the अरे 200-300 रुपए बचे हैं, कुछ और कार्ट में ऐड कर दो and you will get so much discount, right? So that psychology is playing out. I mean, at least for me, it is playing out.
You're doing that?
So they are.
Saver? Zepto saver?
So they are playing with
No,
my psychology for sure.
I think it's
but
playing on everyone's
for
psychology.
on everyone.
So even when my wife orders, when she's short,
She orders and I order. Actually,
tell
मेरे लिए तो ऐसा होता
she
है.
tell me, do you want to call for something? Please give me
Yeah.
give me 100 or 200 rupees worth of
Yeah.
product to call for.
हाँ.
So
Or we just stack up things that we would want regularly, right? जैसे rice है, oil है, something like that. We just order something like that जो use हो जाएगा.
correct, and that becomes a habit.
That becomes a habit.
So now she started maintaining a list of things that she needs. So she won't go above the average order. Whenever she needs it, she'll just keep it in a list. That I'll need it maybe 3 or 4 days from now. And then whenever she's short on a particular order which she requires urgently, she'll add it. So these kinds of consumer behaviors
Notepads, now more notepads are getting
being
used.
seen. At least I've been seeing it.
No, that's
So,
true.
At
I
home.
mean, and earlier what you used to do is you used to order that from the Kirana thing, maybe at the beginning of the month or middle of the month. Now I think you're just doing it with
Your phone. Sitting at
Simple.
home, आराम से AC में.
simple.
Anyways, NCC is also another counter which is buzzing today on the back of a big order win, 10,800 approximately. That's the order win that is received from BSNL. Total order book roughly 14,400 के आसपास है.
Only for the
And
month of March.
Only for the month of March. And वो 20,000 करने वाला है is what the guidance is if I'm not wrong.
So 70,000 crore का
20,000
order
तक-
book है. It does around 9% on margin, 8 to 9% on margin on its execution. At last 2 years I'm looking at, and I'm considering that will remain steady state. So 8 to 9% on margin is what it does. It is so orders are coming in thick and fast. It does 21,000 crore order of top line. I don't know frankly what the guidance is. Maybe I should go back and check, and I will check maybe in a minute or so.
So it is 20,000 crores.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So 20,000 crore is the guidance, but they've already done 22,000 crore in terms of top line. I think trailing 12 months is.
Oh,
around
so revenue
20,000.
guidance. I was talking about order book guidance.
Okay.
20,000.
Huh.
So revenue
So-
guidance we'll have to check.
Revenue guidance I'll just quickly.
But
check.
execution, I'm not sure. Execution कैसे
It's not
हो
a
रहा है?
concern,
It
I
is-
think,
not a
for an
concern?
NCC.
For an NCC?
Why will there be a concern?
I think they've been
They've
I
been
think performed
consistently.
well in that
Yeah,
sense.
they've been
It's-
consistently
there's
delivering.
no execution issue which is coming in NCC as of now. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
Means unless there is systemically it's something which is there, but I don't think there is one which is there. Anyways, we hit the
Revenue-
like button,
Yeah,
subscribe button. We need 25 likes before we start the questions.
Yes.
FY25 growth, sorry, I just want to
go ahead,
complete this. FY25 growth guidance is 5%. It's been reduced. EBITDA margin guidance is 9.25%. So EBITDA guidance is higher. And when I'm
Are they going
comparing
to
this to
meet that guidance, EBITDA guidance?
so if I'm looking at trailing
Means
12
the top
month
line उन्होंने
numbers,
कम किया है. That means that's a factor of the order flows which were slow in the first half of the year. That's why the order guidance has come down.
I think
revenue
I
guidance
think
also.
हो जाना चाहिए because when you're looking at it's around 2,000 crore of operating profit versus the 22,000 crore odd of top line that it's done. So maybe Q4 once it comes in we'll have better visibility, but it's nearly there. I mean maybe 0.5% here or there, but otherwise it's there. And it's not a very expensive counter either. It's trading at 13,300 crore in market cap now, given the
Run up.
given the run up today around 5% odd. But 16 times trailing 12 months is what it trades at. When you're looking at the ROC also, it's quite healthy, 22%.
But 16 times is pretty much okay for infra companies.
But
no?
sir, the way
Means-
railway counters have gone up, and when you're comparing,
But railway counters have
railway
corrected
counters-
also in the
Quite
last few months.
but still, so if I were just to compare my favorite company RVNL, and I keep I keep getting, really impressed with the way the stock trades even today.
Hail Vikas
70,000
Nigam.
crore in market cap, same करता है. 20,000 करोड़ का टॉप लाइन करता है, 5% ग्रोथ गाइडेंस है, 6% मार्जिन करता है इंस्टेड ऑफ 9.5%. और यार मार्केट कैप is 70,000 crore. So I mean, when I'm comparing the two, 13,000 versus 70,000, all the other numbers remaining the same. Order book has, how much value does order book have if you don't execute?
True.
True.
Siemens is also one counter that is in
Yes.
focus, and this is on the back of the demerger approval for Siemens Energy.
But that's in the works, na?
In the
It's been there for
NCLT
last
has approved
NCLT has
अभी तक.
approved it. So
हाँ.
अभी हो जाएगा वो. It will be there.
And sorry, sir, so
demerger
from the
set date
52-week
आ गया,
high,
record date आ गया ना demerger का
हाँ.
7 अप्रैल का.
7 April.
from the 52-week high, NCC has fallen from 364 rupees to 213 today after the run-up. So, might want to maintain that as well. It's not.
It's not as expensive.
It's corrected as well.
Correct.
Maybe
So-
more than what an RVNL has corrected.
So there could be some kind of buying which could be seen.
Yeah.
Because anyone who wants to get a pure play energy vertical from Siemens, they can.
No, I'm talking about NCC.
Achha, NCC. Okay.
Sorry, Siemens.
हाँ.
Yeah. Yeah, so as we were discussing, demerger has been announced for Siemens Energy,
Yeah.
and 7th April is the record date जो
No,
आ चुका है.
demerger was announced. NCLT approval has been
NCLT
received.
approval, yeah.
तो NCLT
and-
approval का आने के बाद means within 30 they have already given
7th
7th of
April.
April. So
Yes.
yeah.
Record date is 7th April. I guess shares will get corrected sometime in the month of April only.
Within
And-
30 days होना
Yeah,
चाहिए ऐसे कुछ
so
होता है.
ideally in the month of April only.
हाँ.
So,
the numbers are going to be very muted in March.
sir, Maruti is
Price hikes
yes,
already. So
yes.
so that's
I think that's the consensus.
that's-
If all companies have raised prices
2 to
by
5%. Everyone has increased prices, and that's good in the sense that they've been able to cushion some of the raw material costs, which is now flowing through the P&L.
But sorry, sir, what is Vahan data indicating in terms of?
One data I haven't seen the full numbers, but
Okay.
basic numbers I've seen. It's not. It's a very muted growth which is coming in YOY and month on month.
Okay.
That's something which I think we'll get Puneet to look
And
at.
so Vahan data,
Yeah.
sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, is real time, right? So it's as of
No,
yesterday.
see, so it's not. What is Vahan? What Vahan does is that all the RTOs in the country, whatever the registration that happens, it collates all the data and it gives you an idea of which companies or vehicles are getting registered.
But as of yesterday.
As of yesterday, real time. It's also it's a real time thing.
Yeah.
But point is that updation takes at least few hours. I think during
Fair.
during festive season, those
My-
see it's a question of registration. What is the kind of traffic at the RTO for the registration? If the registration traffic is very high, then you may have bought the car, but it gets registered maybe 2 days later or 3 days later. So it will give you an update of. It's basically indicative of the retail buying thing. So Siam data जो और ये जो companies भेजती हैं first and second of the month, those are factory gate data. It goes to the dealers. Dealers अपने inventory में रखते हैं. बिकता नहीं है. बिकता वही है जो वाहन में दिखता है. और वाहन में 1 या 2 दिन के गैप में वो अपडेट हो जाता
Got
है.
it. My question to you was largely because of the fact that is my reading correct? Because normally a lot of purchases of cars and vehicles are made in the month of March. You get depreciation benefit, you get GST benefit, year end का भी season है. तो do you believe that this time's muted kind of number is a concern? Because ideally March should be better, right? I'm just thinking logic.
But why will you get depreciation benefit in that sense?
You
Isn't
get
it
half your
proportionate for a...
You get half your depreciation benefit.
But,
Cash flow पे बहुत
So
impact
okay,
आता है.
so I'm just giving you a basic data from Vahan. Okay, I have that in front of me.
Yeah.
In the month of February, the total registrations for vehicles, all vehicles, and we are not talking any company specific here, is around 19.17 lakh. In March, it's 15.52. So, in
Jan
February,
and Feb were much better.
Jan and Feb, they were argument कि 1 दिन कम हो गया, 2 दिन कम हो गए, वो था. But whatever it is, January में 23 lakhs था, Feb में 19 और March में 15. So the numbers on the retail level is falling. Means अभी भी दो दिन बचे, 3 दिन बचे.
हाँ 5 days to go.
No, Monday is a holiday, so
But
ईद
फिर
के
भी
लिए तो
sales
सैटरडे
तो
संडे वो RTOs काम नहीं करते.
Okay.
So even if you say that okay 3 दिन का डेटा और आएगा इसके अंदर.
Correct.
तो maximum it will be at par with February.
Yeah.
But it's still lower than last year. I mean last year in March we had 21.48 lakh.
तो डेफिनेटली लो, मतलब 19 के आसपास.
मैं वही बता रहा हूँ कि यार मार्च टू मार्च जनरली March is a seasonally stronger month
Could be.
of the year,
हो
and
सकता है.
Q4 is
and because companies have announced price hikes, उसके बाद भी sales दिख नहीं रहे on a retail level. So you know that's something which we need to.
Sir, देखो March is the strongest month of the year outside of November festive.
We have a lot
Octave-
of
Octave
questions
November.
also coming in.
Except festive.
October November is the best month for
Yeah,
that.
except for that, but then there's March.
Yeah.
Okay, lot of questions coming in. The first question that I'm going to take is Ashish Kapoor. He is asking, hi guys, need your thoughts on PVR. Do you think it's completely dead now with the advent of Netflix, etc., or is there hope left for the stock?
Is it a
आपका stock
Netflix?
है.
Is it a Netflix problem or is it
It's
a
a Bollywood
finance
problem.
minister problem with
Or a
GST on popcorn?
Or a Bollywood problem, maybe.
Or a Bollywood problem?
Because I'm sure that Tollywood right now is making more money than Bollywood for
True.
sure. But PVR has a strong presence in southern parts of India.
That's
as
right.
well.
Means if you look at
So-
what they have done, interestingly over the last 5 years, they have changed the mix of screens from north to
South.
being south heavy,
Yes.
basically, and that's primarily because the momentum and the story play and the money is now coming from the south.
Yeah, but do you think that Netflix is killing? I mean, at least
No,
my
it
father
doesn't.
has stopped going to movie
But
theaters.
there are some price caps
He's like,
also, no, in the south.
2 week में आ जाएगा ना.
हाँ
2 week में Netflix पे आ जाएगा ना, तो
2
मैं
week में नहीं
जाऊंगा
आएगा,
movie
1
theater.
महीने का 1 महीना लगता है.
But he is not
आ
going
जाएगा.
now. So there are people who have actually started doing that.
No,
So do
Sajeet
you
sir
think-
is of that camp. He is not the kind of person who
Goes to a movie
he's
theater?
the kind of person who goes to movie theaters. But these days he's been doing more OTT. That's what I have been speaking.
Because
with
then
him.
the problem
Haven't
ये
you?
है कि
Haven't
movie-
you? No.
Movie
Disclose it.
No. So yes,
You were
I-
the kind of person who used to watch 2 movies a
So
day.
we'll find
Yeah.
him also yawning in this next few days.
No, he
Because
never
I-
used to yawn. He used to go at 4 o'clock and watch 2 movies
So,
back to back,
there
and
was
by
a
10
time-
he used to be home. That's what he was telling me.
Yeah. So I have done binge watching of movies in theaters. Okay, there was a time. That was 10-15 years back.
Interesting.
Yeah, but now it's once in a month also, and that too. I think in my household, the movie thing is only if there's a cartoon or a those character movies, right? I mean, Captain
Animated.
America
Animated.
kind of
Okay.
movies. Those kind of movies. Then my kids go, and that's when my wife takes them,
Okay.
and then.
You also
You
have
are
to-
forced.
No, I don't
You
go.
are
I don't go.
You don't go?
I go only if there's a Shah Rukh or a Salman Khan movie or Sikandar aa rahi
So
hai. Sunday
30th
को-
March, I
Sunday
will
को-
find you at a movie theater next
Sunday
year.
को आ रही है.
तो मतलब जा रहे हो मूवी थिएटर लेके.
संडे को तो आ रहा है.
लेकिन कम हो गया है.
कम हो
Correct?
गया.
कम हो गया.
कम हो
वो तो होना ही है, of course.
स्टोरी नहीं देखती वो मूवी में तो फिर जाके क्या करूंगा मैं? पॉपकॉर्न खाऊंगा तो घर में बैठ के.
और वो ज्यादा खर्चा है ना.
जेप्टो से ऑर्डर
और
कर
वो
सकता
ज्यादा खर्चा
So
है
it
ना.
is a Bollywood problem.
250-300 रुपीस के टिकट में तुम 1000 रुपए पॉपकॉर्न के देखे आओगे
मैं
तो
99 रुपीस में वो नहीं ले लूं जेप्टो से.
Exactly. So yeah.
So it is a Bollywood problem. But what about price caps? I believe one of the states had introduced that only 200 rupees per ticket.
And कर्नाटका
not more.
कर्नाटका भी गया ना.
That was a theater thing also. If I'm not wrong, Mirage या कुछ तो था जिसने मुंबई. That is still there here by the way. Mukta or Mirage has done
So
that.
there is
99 rupees.
there is a cap on tickets in Tamil Nadu.
हाँ,
Okay,
correct.
Now
State
the
ने की है.
now Karnataka
okay.
has also
State
imposed a
ने
cap on tickets
Okay.
for multiplex. I think 200 or 229 or something. What
Acha.
some price which.
Correct. 200,
हाँ,
sir.
But
200 था.
anyways, if you look at multiplexes, they have more become like an F&B counters rather than
Correct. Because the
distribution.
revenue comes from there,
From there,
right?
yeah.
It's
It's more than
50-60%
50-60%.
revenues where they're
Yeah.
actually.
So that's what I was saying on that day. I was arguing with Neeraj sir that maybe this is actually favorable for them because it will attract more crowd in theaters like PVR and they might
सिर्फ
eat a
popcorn खाने
lot
के लिए.
more. Yeah.
सिर्फ popcorn खाने के
Where
लिए.
the higher margin product is. So your
आपको
theaters
popcorn
may
खाना है तो
actually go
PVR
full
जाइए.
rather than.
All right. Okay. The next question is: as summer is
Debatable.
approaching, your views on power sector companies like Voltamp, Apar Industries, Hitachi Energy. You will have a better perspective here. Power.
My only thing is that yes, summers have been early to this time, and there is going to be good demand for consumer electronics, especially ACs and other stuff, and fridges and refrigerators and other stuff. From a energy utilities point of view, I just read a report today which spoke about that, it's looking good for energy utilities, but the only challenge is how well funded are the discoms to manage that. But even that is taken care of by the government as we speak. Renewable energy is going to help many of them. What you're talking about is energy equipment, right? In that
Correct.
sense. So there is going to be, if your power sector is going to perform
Demand.
and demand is going to be there, and renewable is also going to perform, so you have that renewable means power equipment segment will perform suitably. कितना अच्छी तरह करेगा, it depends upon how the scale up is there in these segments which is there.
Okay.
But sir, sorry. So just wanting to try to get deeper insight into this question. What he's asking is that due to seasonality, will a Hitachi Energy benefit? I'm not so sure.
Not sure. I'm not talking about short term here, guys. I'm
Because-
talking about
correct.
a long term perspective.
Correct.
Very simple.
So-
Because we are looking at the sector as a whole, how it's performing. Is
Correct.
there a headwind to the sector, or is there a tailwind to the sector? And we see,
Tailwind.
what we hear from the ground is there is a tailwind to the sector, because there is a momentum to push the capacity of generation in the country, whether it's in form of renewable or it's in the form of thermal, and many of these companies are in that segment.
So then the better way to look at some of these is the likes of power generating companies. Something
Or
like a Tata
transforming.
Power, something like a
Look at
Coal India.
NTPC, how
Something
NTPC is
like
done.
a Coal India, where realizations may get better if demand is higher. You may want, that's the cohort of companies you're targeting, and maybe not equipment companies.
We started auctioning coal blocks at least a few years back, 3 to 5 years back. Now those blocks have started generating coal, and if you look at the IIP data which comes in, it gives you a good indication that private sector coal production is much higher and at much faster pace than
What's the
central.
best way to play private sector coal?
Means many of them is a captive in nature, right? In that sense, many of them have taken coal blocks for captive.
So
needs.
like a Tata Power.
टाटा पावर हो गया, अदानी पावर हो गया, या फिर
JSW
JSW एनर्जी हो गया. So many, and there are many more. JSPL also is there. So they have taken coal, and now those blocks have started producing. And IIP number में अच्छी तरह number, it gives a breakup private sector versus public, and private sector is growing at a faster rate as compared to public. So so look from that point of view, yes, power sector is doing well. NTPC, I was surprised कि NTPC बहुत दिनों के बाद इतना भागा है. मार्च में मैं देख रहा था तो एकदम मैंने देखा अरे NTPC इतना भाग गया है. So and Nifty energy is up 11.75%.
Yeah.
So
maybe that factor is playing its role. Summer
Yes.
season.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so one thing I
So
want to
then
highlight.
definitely.
Today, JP Morgan came out with a note.
Yeah.
Overweight rating on NTPC as well as Power Grid.
Power Grid,
These
yes.
were their two overweights, and
and
likely
both NTPC and
both
Power
of
Grid
those would fit into the question.
the
asked.
top
and
gainers.
and they're the top gainers for
They're the top
March.
March. Yes.
So you wanna
Maybe
look at
JP
that.
Morgan missed the rally. Simple as that.
Possibly, but Power Grid and NTPC both Nifty 50. So
Yeah.
Okay, one more interesting question, and I'll ask this question to both of you. Which sectors do you anticipate shall give good Q4 results? I'll start with you, Hersh.
Q4 results. Which
Q4
sector will
results.
which sector will give a good Q4 result?
Q4 results.
Very. I think infra will give. Defense will means defense का अच्छा होगा. Because March ending है, so there will be a lot of closure of revenues which will
Correct.
come in, which is going to come in. Pharma will be good. I don't know how Q1 will be, but Q4 will be good for pharma in some way. I think energy में you will see renewable companies, NTPC Green, Adani Green, showing good numbers coming in Q4, which will be there because they have added capacities as well. Wari वगैरह जो है, Wari है आपका, Acme is also doing has been adding well, so numbers will be good in those companies. कितना ऊपर होगा I don't know guys, but my estimate is that because they've been adding capacity and you're reading those announcements on a daily basis, you know कि okay these are the things which is there. I feel L&T will be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean L&T has been going up, and I've seen a good amount of buying which is coming in into L&T, which is there. So L&T might be good. They will be able to, I think they will meet the guidance if I'm not wrong.
I think execution related plays.
Plays, yeah.
Because we've had such a tough 6 months prior to that. I think execution related plays may well be in focus. They may want to ramp up before the monsoons.
Yeah, so tech sector may be muted. Numbers on a quarter to quarter may be down. I think consumer tighten.
Already we are seeing that the demand is muted or even below what was expected.
Yes.
So
what will do well?
Demand
Maybe
definitely
lenders, infra, defense. Those are the lenders because of Q4 and growth and seasonality. But outside of that.
All right. This is an interesting question. Sai Siddharth is asking if he can do an SIP in IndusInd right now. Now that the stock has seen so much correction.
You're talking stock SIP.
पहले तो sir, I think the question should be stock SIP करना चाहिए कि नहीं?
Stock SIP नहीं करना चाहिए according to me, because volatility is high and therefore you could well see a lot of pressure coming in on single counters. I would not recommend a stock SIP on a counter like IndusInd because the volatility is just so high. I don't know if
you
would agree
should
with
look
me.
at the total return of a stock before you look at a stock SIP. Purpose क्या है stock SIP का? That you average out over a 5 period of time, and when you do that, there is one capital appreciation which comes into play, and the second आपको वो कंपनी से डिविडेंड मिलता है राइट. ये दो चीज़ें आपको मिलती है. अगर आप टोटल रिटर्न्स देखेंगे कंपनीज के कि कैसे दे रही है कंपनी, एंड टोटल रिटर्न इंक्लूड डिविडेंड विच हैज़ बीन पेड आउट, राइट. सो वो सब देख के आप देन यू टेक अ कॉल ऑन वेदर यू वांट टू डू अ स्टॉक SIP और नॉट, एंड वेदर means if you're doing it for a period of for my old age I'll benefit, then at old age you're trying to look at what cash flows in form of dividends. So you have to see companies which are giving you good dividends, and maybe you look at them from that point of view, whether they're in a good sector, whether they will be appreciating, whether they have a good payout ratio of dividend, all those things which come into play.
Got it. Yeah,
a lot of banking questions as well.
Yeah,
Kalyan is asking about please suggest which bank can I bet on? Kotak, Bandhan, IndusInd or Karur Vysya?
Kotak, if you are looking for more safety and relatively low valuations in a large cap bank, Bandhan, and see, it's like saying I'll go to a restaurant. What do I want to eat? Do I want to eat dal khichdi? Do I want to eat dosa? Do I want to eat vada pav? What is it that I want to eat, right? And therefore, I'll just give you 4 categories of what could well turn around some of these stories. So Kotak, surely more stability, more growth will start to come in. They've done well. Sorry, the second one was Bandhan. Third one was what?
Karur Vysya or IndusInd?
Karur Vysya or IndusInd. Okay.
Karur Vysya का एक बाय आया ना रिपोर्ट आज?
Yeah, नहीं आज नहीं आया था, last week आया था.
मेरे को
Yesterday या last week आया था, दो में से.
JM का या किसी का आया था?
Yeah. So I think yesterday आया था, if I'm not wrong. So sorry, so I'll come to each of those one by one. Bandhan, and I said this yesterday as well, everything depends on microfinance. If the cycle turns, the stock could well re-rate and justifiably so that it could re-rate. But the most important thing is the asset quality cycle in Bandhan. So if you want to look at lead indicators of how the asset quality cycle is turning, that's what you should look for if you're buying a Bandhan. Third is a Karur Vysya. Karur Vysya, again, a typical turnaround story. You might want to look at banks which have an ROA higher than the 1-year forward price to book, and there are plenty of them. Any lender where the ROA consistently is higher than the current price to book, the consistent ROA higher than the current price to book or 1-year forward price to book could well be attractive opportunities. Karur Vysya, I believe, trading at around 1.5 times price to book. The 1-year forward, or rather the 2-year forward ROA expectation is around 1.6%, and therefore something you may want to look out for, because there's a bit of a turnaround which you'll have to wait and watch out for. cost of deposits coming down, margins getting better. If all of those factors play out over the next 1 to 2 years, you might see a re-rating there.
Okay.
Last off with regard to IndusInd, again, if the problems go away, stock could re-rate very, very quickly. If the problems remain, I'm not so sure how much of a downside from here it could be. But mind you, Yes Bank has gone south and RBL has gone south. You could I be 100% sure that an IndusInd won't? I'm not so sure. So,
Alright.
But there
it's
are
a
couple of
50 stock.
Yeah, but there's a couple of monitorable things for IndusInd, right? The first one being the exact impact of the derivative on the book, which we need
अभी के लिए 2000 करोड़ है.
अभी के लिए 2000 है, पर मार्च 31 या 1 को जब वो अनाउंसमेंट करेंगे
पता
तो
चलेगा.
कितना है,
मे बी नॉट इवन
Then-
31st, वो रिजल्ट के बाद ही पता
रिजल्ट के
चलेगा.
बाद ही पता चलेगा, और कितना इम्पैक्ट आएगा और क्यों है हुआ, ये भी पता चलेगा. और दूसरा जो है the change in leadership which is expected. So, they're supposed to give names to the Reserve Bank of India, and the RBI is supposed to, there will be 3 names which needs to be given for MD and 3 names for Deputy MD, and RBI will decide on who will be there. So that uncertainty will be there for next 2 to 3 quarters with respect to leadership.
But if a good leader is to come, and mind you, this is a bank backed by the Hindujas, if a good leader were to come, stock could re-rate.
But Hinduja don't have
very
much
well.
of a say in the bank anymore.
They still have 15% stake.
Yeah, there's
They're
a
still
stake.
promoters.
Yeah, it's like Uday
and-
Kotak having a stake in Kotak, but he's been.
I would give it a 30% discount to what Uday Kotak is to Kotak. But yeah, I mean, nonetheless, they do have some amount of a say.
All right. So we are completely out of time
Yeah,
for
we
this
should.
edition of
Yeah, but एक first cry का है जो तुमने
That is interesting.
तुमने interesting करके तुम
But
निकल गए.
yeah, I will have to see. I will have to take a look at that
Yes,
as to
so
why
we will.
depreciation is higher. But yes, we'll definitely come back with an answer on that. And
And
lastly,
we were supposed to talk hotels actually today. I have missed it. We'll
Yeah.
talk hotels tomorrow.
Definitely, we'll talk about hotels tomorrow. And before we wrap up, an appreciation that has come in. Do we have the person's name? I'm not sure, but the person is watching us from Nigeria, and he's saying he's big fan of the show producers. So thank you so much for watching us all the way from Nigeria, and thank you so much for taking our time.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Humbled.
you.
Thank you. चलिए दौड़े.
चलिए.
Mahima, we need to sit for 5 minutes on closing.
Closing na, हाँ चलो.
And thereafter, and we'll sit with Swana only.
तुम किसी को बता दो सीमेंस का कौन करेगा.
आपका माइक सर, आपका माइक सर,
मालूम
आपका माइक. सीमेंस का कौन करेगा? अनुषी बोल दिया ऑलरेडी.